Imagine this theater for 200,000, 300,000 years, putting every day the same play, which is capturing fog. So you have actors and a whole theater that hinges around capturing fog. And in doing so for such a long time, the actors forget about speaking other languages, learning other lines. They become really specialized in this play. And then suddenly a bunch of naked apes come in a boat and they say, no, now we're going to play a different play. Now we're going to bring in goats and the play is going to be surviving grazing. And of course the actors can't do it. They just cannot do it. They cannot adapt to the new play. They don't know the lines, they don't know the language, they don't even have the physical capacity to play this new play. So they rapidly disappear off the theater, and what you're getting is a bunch of guys that do things that are done all over the world. You can go to any grazing plot in Europe or in the East Coast and you can get exactly the same guys. So basically what we're seeing on Guadalupe Island is a play that was premiered, a very short time ago, and in doing so lost probably one of the most valuable casts that have been doing another play for hundreds of thousands of years.
Here we see what environmental degradation taken to its extreme really looks like, what Earth would look like once it's on the verge of having its ecosystems collapse and life itself be on the verge of dying out. Each of these cypress trees is struggling. Some may survive another 20 years, who knows, maybe another 50 years, but I'm sure that if things continue the way they are, none of these trees will survive another 100 years. You see what the bark of the cypress tree should look like, smooth with some of this exfoliating layer. But look down here and you can see where the goats have gnawed the bark away. In fact, you can even see some tooth marks right here. So once the tree has enough of its bark chewed off, it weakens and dies. I've been here for the last 4 days looking for the land birds. In fact, I'm just hearing the song of one of them right now, the Guadalupe junco. It is the only woodland bird that was endemic to Guadalupe Island, that is found only on Guadalupe Island, that still survives. So along with the cypress forest, once the woodland goes, it's very likely that the junco would die out as well.
Some of these seabirds nest in burrows, some of them nest in crevices, and they just don't switch. And I just have this feeling, we don't know much about the Guadalupe storm petrel, but I just have this feeling it's not a crevice nester, and probably never was. If you look at a tree like this, it's fallen over, there's plenty of loose soil right here, but no signs of burrowing at all.
If you just take that time section of the last 200 years, about 90% of the species that have gone extinct have been birds that live on islands. So islands are particularly sensitive to destruction. They're very fragile habitats, and it doesn't really take much to push them over the edge and cause things to go extinct and unbalance the ecosystem.
What's very interesting about Guadalupe storm petrel, and very sad, is that it was described as a species late in the 1800s, and it was seen once or twice after that, and it was gone. We don't really know anything about it. There's just a couple paragraphs of anecdotal information, and then it was swept off the earth.
We just have the specimens to look at, and that's, at this point in time, all that's left is a few museum specimens of this bird.
It's an humbling experience to hold a bird in your hand that isn't alive anymore and that nobody will ever see again. I don't know, maybe more people should do that and get a feel for, a more immediate feel for what extinction's all about. I don't think many people understand what's come and what's gone there.
was impressive just from kind of the stark beauty in these pines sticking out here. But it was very sad because you see so many dead skeletons of these old dead trunks. And then you look underneath and you find like hope, these little tiny seedlings. And then you think about it for a while and think, well, they're not going to last very long because they may have got established right now, but they're going to be nipped off before they can do anything.
It's not only a problem of one country, it's an international country because this is patrimony of the humanity, not only of only one country.
And what we want to do is have a rangefinder here that works off of a laser.
This is a cultural thing. He's using forestry gadgets.
And then take an inclinometer and measure to the top of that crown.
I'm using a much simpler thing. This twig has exactly the distance from my eye, as you can see, to my closed fist, right? So when I hold it like that, I'm making a triangle, and by simple rules of proportion, I can get an estimate of the height of the tree. So we're using a very traditional pre-Aristotelian method against modern forestry equipment.
Which is 26.6 degrees. And before you forget all that, you write it down. $58. You want to bet? $57 3/4.
I smell it. Bob, I smell storm petrel. They're here, you can smell them.
Leave some. Don't be greedy. We have another one.
Anything else you got while you got the press open?
Black Vintage Shearwater, endemic to Baja, California.
Mighty fine. We'll give you a satellite call around noon. Glad you had a good night. Talk to you soon. You bet. Bye-bye. Thank God we got in touch with these guys.